Hey everyone, I'm Mike O'Neill and welcome to FlyBoyz. So I'm back with another installment of my on-again, off-again B-10 bomber control line build. It has been a slow build, but progress is being made. I do have the wing done, at least from a construction standpoint, and have begun progress on the fuselage, and that's what I'm going to be focusing on in this video. It has, as I said though, been a slow build. The last time I updated you guys, I was getting ready to bring the wing to the Syracuse Maker Faire, which I did, along with some other control line builds that I had in progress. And all my offerings were well received at the Syracuse Maker Faire, so I was very pleased with that. After that, I have spent several weeks out of town on family business, and that's cut into my building time. And then what little building time I have had, I did invest in building 2 quick rocket builds for 2 of my grandkids. And what I'll do is I'll show just a couple quick photos of those rockets and then get into the current state of the fuselage build on the B-10 bomber. So without further ado, here's my update. As I mentioned at the end of the last build video, I left the center section of the wing unsheeted for display purposes at the Maker Faire. Now that the fair was over, I sheeted the center section, thus completing the actual construction portion of the wing. What's left now is a lot of sanding, a whole lot of sanding. As with wing construction, the construction of the fuselage starts with making and cutting out the keel and former templates. This is a very tedious and time-consuming process, and it's what's taken the longest in this build to date. I described my process for making the templates in part 2 of this video series, so if you would like to see how they were made, you can go back and review them in that video. Once I had all the keel and former templates made, I used them to start cutting out the balsa for the actual build of the fuselage itself. First up was laying the keel pieces, and after I laid them down, I couldn't help but think that this airplane looked a lot like a pregnant whale. As I started laying in the left side formers, I couldn't help but think once again how robust this airplane is turning out to be compared to the other planes I've built over the last several years. About a year ago, I discovered 1-2-3 blocks, and I have been amazed at how versatile they are for use as alignment tools when gluing and as weights for holding parts together or down while gluing. I find more and more uses for them all the time in my building. Once I was done adding the primary formers to the left side of the fuselage, I added a stringer under the wing area. This stringer will help act as a saddle that the wing will sit on once it's been installed into the fuselage. I now moved on to installing the primary formers on the right-hand side of the fuselage. I used small balsa strips and clamps to make sure that the left and right halves of each former stayed in alignment with each other. As with the left side, once I was done installing the primary formers for the right-hand side of the fuselage, I added the stringer that will form the right-hand side of the wing saddle. At this point in the construction process, the next step is to insert the wing into the fuselage before completing the rest of the fuselage. But before I install the wing, I have to do a major amount of sanding on it. So that will be my next task and a subject of the next video. So that's my progress to date. I'm not sure when my next update will be because next weekend I'm going to be back on the road again. I'm going down to Marine Corps Air Station Quantico, Virginia, where I used to be stationed, for a dual event. They are introducing the new presidential Marine One helicopter. They're replacing the current VH-3D helicopters with the VH-92 helicopters, and they're having a formal ceremony for that this coming Friday down at Quantico. And as an HMX-1 alumni, I'm going to be attending that. That's followed throughout the weekend by a reunion for folks who've served time with HMX-1, which is also known as Marine One, and I will be attending that this coming weekend. That's going to be followed in the mid-June with me spending a week down in Carmichael's, Pennsylvania at the Brodak fly-in. So between the HMX-1 ceremony and reunion and the Brodak fly-in, a good portion of June is going to be spent on the road again. But hopefully in the meantime I'll get some progress on the fuselage, which at this point will be primarily, as I said in the video earlier, sanding the wing, then installing it so that I can continue on with the fuselage build. So that's it for now. I appreciate everybody sticking with me on this build. Thanks for watching, and we'll see you the next time here on FlyBoyz. Take care.